cut your hair for you, but you have to bring beers over. So I'm like, okay. So next thing you know, Michael's drunk with a pair of clippers
Oh no.
shaving my head.
Oh no, that's a bad move.
Yeah. And then after it, I literally just have like these uneven spots all over in the back. I just look like a mess. I come home, my dad sees me, and he's like, "What the fuck happened to you?" Like he gives me a 1 everywhere, and just fixes it. But thanks, Mike. Don't ever go to Michael.
I had fun though. That's what matters.
Yeah, that's what counts. At least one out of two had fun.
No, but Michael somehow figured that like his isn't that bad, and he did it himself. I don't know how you did it, but you're not using scissors. You don't touch the top.
I used to work with someone who had like such a nice haircut, and I actually asked him like, "Who's your barber?" And he's like, "I cut it myself." And I'm like, "There's no chance." And he's like, "Yeah, like I do everything myself." And I was so like, it can be done. I'm just garbage.
Yeah. No, it takes time and practice. I've always wanted to know how to cut hair. Just like I feel like it'd be fun to just like give your boys like a nice fade.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be fun. If you had like this one friend who was like in your core circle, and whenever you guys went out, you just like got a fresh fade.
Yo, that can be you now. Now, like every Friday night, like everyone starts pre-drinking, and you're just buzzing people's hair.
Yeah, I'm there. There's a pre-drink, and in the middle of the pre-drink, there's a chair right in the middle.
Oh my god!
And everyone's just getting buzzed up. I'm like, yo, I got you. Next thing you know,
first.
I'm 10 beers deep, and someone's bald. Michael, it can be Michael.
There's no better time than to learn it now, Dan.
True. True.
So let's start training.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. Ayo, let's do like an intro real quick.
Right.
Yeah, I'd love to use what we just said into the podcast. Just somehow just
edit it.
Yeah.
Edit it.
That was funny.
Okay. Killer. Daniel. Dan. Okay. Okay, give it 1 sec. Daniel's gonna join.
He's gonna join? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What podcast is this? Like, how many have you guys done so far?
This is like number 12.
Well,
oh shit. Okay.
Actually, maybe more. But yeah, so Gladstein challenged us for this like deck of cards push-up thing.
I'm good
Okay.
for that.
And we did it yesterday. I've never been more sore in my chest.
Actually, I'm so curious. What is it?
It's like you take a deck of cards and then you just review.
Oh, and that's like the number of reps you have to do.
Yeah, depending on the value, you do the number of push-ups, and you just finish the deck, bro.
And you do it straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look at me like as if I was gonna do like some bitch ass push-ups.
Okay, there he is.
Oh, he's there. Okay.
Yeah, that was awful.
I'm gonna sign off here and join there.
On Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They're in the same.
Okay, I was like kind of confused.
He was upstairs. Yeah.
Oh, okay, now it makes sense.
That transition.
Smooth. Yeah, working out now has not been easy, not gonna lie.
Okay. Ready? Ready to go steady?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, welcome to another episode of Lifting Things. Say what's up, boys. How's it going?
Hi.
What up?
We have a special guest today, Mr. Rob. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Good yourself.
Pretty good.
How's quarantine been for you recently?
I can't complain. I mean, I have food, I have a roof, but in terms of lifting things, it's pretty garbage.
Yeah. Have you been training?
I've been trying. Like, honestly, the first month I was super motivated, and I bought like resistance bands and like whipped out all my old stuff from my closet, whatever. And now I'm kind of just like, honestly, I've just went into more running because at least I can do that 100%. Like, there's not much I can lift, but it is what it is. I got like a few dumbbells from a neighbor.
Especially you used to do triathlons also. I remember last summer you did a
so I did one last summer. It was like my probably one of one. I don't know if I'm gonna do one again, but it was fun. Yeah, I mean, took some practice, but I think honestly more people could do it than they think.
Why one of one? It was harder than you expected? It wasn't for you.
For me, it was just kind of like I wanted to see if I can do it and complete it. I'm not like breaking any records or anything, so I did it. I honestly wanted to do a marathon in September, but that ship kind of sailed with the whole quarantine. But I might just do it solo, honestly. Like,
Wait, how many kilometers of running during a triathlon?
So it's basically there's different levels of triathlon. There's like sprint, there's Olympic, and then it goes into like half Ironman, whatever. The one I did was Olympic. So it starts with, I believe, 1.5 kilometers of swimming, then 40 kilometers of biking, and then 10 kilometers of running. And it's always in that order. I'm pretty sure they made that order so like people don't drown. So they always put swimming first, and like you're not going to get tired out and drown basically. But yeah, so it's basically a 10K run after you did the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did you find was the hardest for you?
100% the running. It's like, even if you're good at running, like you're just super tired and like your legs feel like jelly. But the biking is like, it's funny because the biking is probably like physically the easiest. Like I think most people can keep up on a bike for a while and just, you pedal and you keep your pace, but like it just gets boring. Like the biking part for me took at least over an hour or like an hour and a half. So it's like there was at least 2 laps where like I wasn't mentally there. Like I was just moving. Like I really don't even remember what I was thinking about. Like I remember just doing 2 laps and I don't even know where I was. I was just like, oh yeah, we're still here. So that part's a bit like redundant, and that's kind of what turns me off of like doing other distances. I'm like, I don't want to do this like even more.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's an experience. Like for some people it's super, super fun. It's still like I don't regret doing it. But yeah, I would say for sure the running is the hardest. For most people, the swimming is the hardest because like I'm just lucky that I came from a swimming background, so swimming's not so bad. But usually people like struggle with the swimming. Actually, I thought the swimming was going to be really easy, but I had never swam in like that area. Like it's not really like open water, but it's basically at Parc Jean Drapeau where they have their rowboats and everything. So it's super cold, and I had a wetsuit, and it's the first time I ever swam with a wetsuit. So I did it with a friend of mine, and like 5 minutes before we went in the water, and we see it's like pitch black and it's like freezing, and we're just like, oh shit, like we have never ever trained for this, but like and within 5 minutes, like my whole left side just completely cramped, and like I literally like was like barely breathing, but I kind of figured I made it this far, I'm not gonna stop, like it's hopefully gonna pass. So it was fine. But I would say to anyone who never did triathlon, like try swimming in a wetsuit at least once, because I don't know if it was the wetsuit that was new or it was the water, but like literally like I've never had such a bad body cramp in my entire life.
Yeah, what's it like swimming in like cold water? Is it that much different besides the wetsuit part?
So the other thing that's kind of different is like I'm not like the best swimmer, but I have decent technique. But the thing is, you're in such a crowd of people and the water is like literally pitch black, like it's opaque, like you can't see anything through it. So half of my job swimming is just making sure I'm not running into people at this point. So like all my technique went out the window, like within like 1 minute. I was just like, oh, okay, like it's not going to be like, doing laps at like the YMCA. It's like you literally are like, your head's like this, just checking that like you're not going to get kicked in the face. Because that's like a huge thing. People get kicked in the face like all the time. So I purposely was like, I'm not here to break records. I'm going to wait for people to swim a bit and just like be in my own zone and not worry about getting like destroyed by people. So yeah, like that's probably tip number 1 is if it's like your first time, like don't swim first, like spend like a nice 30 seconds waiting for people to like go ahead of you. And yeah, just look where you're going, because it's super easy to get like just fucking kicked. Like my friend kind of just didn't give a shit and went right away, and he was getting destroyed. So it's to each their own, I guess.
Comes out of the water with bruises and bleeding everywhere.
No, it's like a thing. I've actually like, I remember like I was watching all these videos before I did it, and like apparently it's super, super common that people get like injured in the swimming part. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not here for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. You see like these large groups, especially like I don't know how many people were in your heat.
Mhm.
Like I know like some competitions, for example, like Ironmans, it's like hundreds of people. At the
Yeah,
same
yeah. It's
a
funny
sport.
because there was a lot of divisions, and we were one of the earlier divisions of that day. And like even us, there must have been at least like, I don't know, at least 100, 200 people. Like
Oh my god!
so yeah, you have to be careful. But
And it's like it's not the widest lane. You're like
no,
crammed
it's no
together.
lane. It's no lane. It's just like an open body of. It's kind of like
Well,
you
they put
just
buoys where you're allowed to swim.
yeah, exactly. So there's just like buoys separating you, and you go kind of like this. You make like a U, like you go like this, then you go like this, and then you make it back.
Mhm.
But that's like 1.5 kilometers. But yeah, like the swimming part is weird.
How did you train
Um,
for all this?
so for me, I think first I would say like to the average person, you kind of have to know like what's your weak point and what's like your strong point. So like personally, like I'm really not even a big biker, but I kind of figured like for me the biking is the easiest. Like it's required the least amount of training. So on like a given week, I wouldn't be biking 3-4 times a week. I'd be biking like max 1 or 2 times a week. And for me personally, I knew the running is going to be like the absolute hardest because one, typically running's like the hardest on all your body just because of all the impact. And plus you're doing that after you swam and you biked. So for me, my running was the most important. Like if I didn't have time to do something that week and like I had to do something, like it was always going to be running. And yeah, for the average person though, I think a lot of people spend a lot of time on swimming because most people aren't great swimmers. But again, if you're good at swimming, like my friend swam like maybe 3 times or 4 times the whole summer and he was fine. But he's also like a pretty good swimmer. So I think pretty much the biggest tip is figure out what's like your easiest strength of the 3 and what's your weakest. And just try to, if you can, try to do them all at least once a week. That'd be good. But for sure, I started training for it in April, and my actual race was September. So I had a lot of time, to be honest. Like it was almost too much time. I kind of got like sick of training by the last month, and I wished I like started like 1 month later.
Mhm.
But I was like, whatever, better safe than sorry. But yeah, other than that, like my training definitely got ramped up towards the end. Like I would say, like I started slow and I did things, once a week or maybe twice a week, and then by like the last month, I was training like almost every day. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you were what were your like? Did you find a plan or something, or you just kind of did like just as run as much as you can? Like, what was your strategy towards this training?
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of good plans online. I didn't use any of them. I like for some reason I kind of found it more intimidating, and I kind of just, for me, it's a sort of so it's kind of not the smartest strategy, but like it worked for me. But basically, I needed to know that I could do every distance on its own, like no problem. Like I should be able to do the running portion, like 10K easy. I should be able to do the biking easy because, they're all like only 1/3 on the race day.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that's really, really key is to at least practice a couple times, like biking and then running, because that's like something a lot of people forget to train for. And it's just like your legs aren't used to it. So it's like you don't have to do the full distance you're going to do on your race, but just getting your muscles ready to like jumping off a bike and then running, because that's like kind of a rude awakening if you've never done it before.
Yeah.
But after I did it like 3-4 times, you get the hang of it, and like you're like, okay, like at least now my body knows what's up. But for sure, it's going to be way harder on the day of your race, and you're going to be like pumped up with adrenaline. So yeah.
Very nice. Like post race, were you thinking like, oh shit, I never want to do this again? Or
I
you
like wanted to
did
die.
wanna do
I
this?
honestly wanted to die.
What?
I like literally was like, I wanted to die. Like I just like sat down for like 20 minutes and I was like, okay, like never again kind of thing. But,
Why did I even do that?
yeah, but no, it was honestly a super fun experience. I think like anything, like I think being in a atmosphere with like everyone doing, like it's kind of like the lifting things event. Like if you're with anyone the same goal as you, you're 10 times more motivated than training by yourself. Like I got like all my best times that day than when I would train for one thing by myself, which made like no sense.
Wow.
So for sure, adrenaline helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. And I also still tried to lift weights. Like I wasn't there for like hitting PRs or anything like that, but I think it helps a lot just to kind of keep your body strong. And I mean, honestly, half of it's just like mental and ego, let's be honest. But like, but for sure, like honestly, like certain things, like just practicing being explosive on like squats and stuff like that, it definitely transfers over. Like it's just good to keep your like some muscle there.
General strength. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually funny because I remember everyone was freaking out. They're like, oh, you're going to lose all your gains. Like, don't do cardio or whatever. And I remember I was actually like hitting like numbers I didn't hit because of like, I just felt in better shape, like overall. Like I just like going, like I find I used to go to the weight room and like I do a couple sets and I was like always out of breath and like I couldn't just like do high volume. And like after you do so much cardio, you're like, oh, this is like going to the gym is chill. Like this is just like, this is fun compared to cardio. Like,
that's so true. One thing I noticed is like when we were prepping for our comp, we had to add a lot of cardio to diet down. And one thing I noticed is that I felt so much more athletic in the gym than I usually.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like I couldn't do the amount of like sets and reps I did since I was training for triathlon. Like you're in better shape. It makes sense. So I know, like, I still don't look at myself as like a cardio guy. Like, I don't necessarily always love doing it, but if you get in the habit of it, for sure pays off. It definitely, like, even if you just want to lift, like, it helps.
It's like, oh wow, disappeared. Shit, sorry.
No worries.
I'll message them. I didn't even notice that they froze or anything, or they just
no same.
They do this thing sometimes where they just like pretend to be frozen, and then like, aha, gotcha.
Oh my god,
it's a little different. Well, they still have the link, right? So
yeah. Are you the host of it, or are they the host?
Yeah, I'm host.
Okay.
So at least the recording's still good. But yeah, dude, like 100%. Like I just remember like feeling I didn't lose any strength. I just felt like I could do more volume and just not just be out of breath all the time.
No, that's it. Like I wasn't for sure. Like I was, especially towards the last 2 months, I was going like way lighter on weights, and I was like I just didn't want to injure myself, to be honest. Like I was like, I'm not going to try to like get a 1 rep max on bench and then like go like running all day tomorrow. You know, it's like I just can't afford to like fuck shit up now. But
yeah, like when you remove cardio, like I don't know, I just feel like so heavy and just like although I'm strong as fuck, like I don't feel like
you don't feel athletic for sure.
Sense. Yeah,
it's not the same. Like this whole winter I wasn't doing cardio. Like the second I finished my triathlon, I'm like, I did enough. Like it's not happening anymore. And like I definitely got way stronger and I felt like bulkier, but like yeah, definitely like you feel it's a different feeling. Like you feel like you work out, but you don't feel athletic. So it depends what your goals are for sure.
But it's I guess like the key would be just like balance out everything.
Yeah, like honestly, I was still trying to like go to the gym and lift like 2-3 times a week, but honestly, you don't need to. Like it's just because I liked going to the gym. Like you don't need to do that for triathlon. It's just that like I kind of do that more.
It's like not a priority, not as much of a priority.
Yeah, like if I ended up skipping a day at the gym, I was like, whatever. Like at least I'm doing my cardio stuff. But it's still nice. Like if you have the time to do both, like it's definitely not gonna hurt. Like
yeah, and you're for sure not gonna lose all your gains. Like even
definitely not. Like
quarantine, this is what like I noticed. Like this is not gonna affect long term. I'm not like losing muscle by the minute. Like it's okay.
Honestly, I feel like I have like for sure lost some, and like I just noticed because I'm not lifting like heavier. I have like just like decrease in appetite. Oh,
Back on the lower quality camera.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
no worries.
Ever since COVID, I'm having like internet interruptions at my house. I think it's like the company.
Honestly, it's possible. It's possible like everybody is abusing the phone.
My internet literally just came back on as soon as this worked.
Yeah.
It's so funny. How
Try
it
it.
works.
Let's do it again.
If you guys are on the phone, just flip it. Use it horizontally.
He's about to reconnect on his computer.
But yeah, we were talking about how it feels like you feel way more athletic. Okay, yeah, I see you're joining on the. Yo, guys, just stick to the phone. It's not a big deal.
We're already here.
All right, that works. Okay.
Have any of you guys ever like thought about it or wanted to do it?
Yeah, I wanted to do a triathlon, but not yet. Like I think I wanna train some. Like I just recently started doing like MMA boxing.
Oh, sick.
So
Nice.
I kind of wanna learn more of that, but definitely
Yeah.
something I want to do in the future.
Sick.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
was texting you when you were training for it. I was like thinking about doing
Oh
it.
yeah. Honestly though, I remember you were like training for like your show there, and I was like, dude, like you're just it's too much at once. Like it's also, yeah. I feel bodybuilding in particular is so taxing, and it's also just very like methodical. Like I've never competed or anything, but like from what I've seen, it's so methodical and calculated, like in terms of like, you know, this week I'm taking in this many calories, and this week I'm, you know, adding this much more like cardio or whatever. Whereas like it's when you're just doing like high numbers of cardio, like it's gonna like it can be done, but like you're gonna be miserable. Like it's already hard enough to be so disciplined for like bodybuilding. I was like, dude, like do one at a time, because it's gonna be either you're gonna half-ass one, or you're just gonna like, I don't know, you're gonna want to kill yourself. Like
My cardio was already biking and running a lot. Like instead of using like driving or public transit, I was biking and running instead. Anyway,
yeah,
that's cardio because
you guys both got shredded. I literally was like shocked.
Yeah, no, it was wild, and I hated going on the Stairmaster. I would rather bike and run than go.
Yeah, you thought you were a Guma and you're gonna do a Stairmaster in the garage every day.
Literally, me and Mike went on the Stairmaster almost every day. It was awesome.
But like, to be fair, I feel like it is the most efficient way to do cardio. It's like not too miserable.
It's the bodybuilding way, right? Like it's like the one that's.
I think it's the easiest. Yeah, the easiest.
It's the easiest, and it's probably like the least like muscle depleting one, I guess. But
yeah, it still sucks. It sucks big time.
Yeah, honestly, even for me, there was times where like I would do like a stationary bike instead of biking, and I would just watch a movie because I was like, this is just getting depressing. Like I need to do something to pass the time. Like I swear, I remember there was times I was like biking like in my garage at like 10 at night, and I was like, I guess I'll watch a movie. Like there was days where it's like I just had to put in the time, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's awesome. You just, you know.
Yeah, no, it was a huge learning experience, and it was kind of me and my friends like bucket list thing to do, and we always talked about it. And like 2 years ago, we were like, we can't do that, man. Like that's way too hard. And then I forget if it was me or my friend. I think it was my friend, and like he was kind of just like, well, like, you know, actually no, I think it was me. Anyway, one of us was just kind of saying like, we're in our 20s. Like if we're not gonna do it now, like we're not gonna do it when we're like 50 something. So might as well just try to do it now. So it can be done. Like honestly, I think more people can do it than like, I think if you don't have any like, you know, obvious like health problems and you're like decently healthy and work out, like I think more people than they think can probably do it.
Well, I mean, it is like a triathlon. I think when most people think triathlon, they go right away and they think Ironman.
Yeah,
Ironman
exactly.
is something that's absolutely insane. Like,
yeah, like even after we finished, my friend's like, so like, do you think you want to do like a half Ironman or like an Ironman? And I'm like, honest, like you can't have a job. Like seriously, I don't know how people. It's like I've seen videos of people who train for it, and they're like, today I'm gonna go for like a 5-hour bike ride. Like that's just their like Saturday training, and I'm like, dude, who has the time? Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Not even the time. Who wants to? I mean, personally, I don't want to bike for 5 hours. Like I get bored.
What's the bike distance during?
It's crazy distances. It's like a 3-kilometer swim.
A full
like,
Ironman has
what do
a
you
full
do, 40
marathon in it.
kilometers on a bike or something.
Yeah.
He did 40 kilometers on a bike.
You
It's like
did 40
100 and
Mine was 40. It's way more. Like I
like
think
180 kilometers.
if I'm not mistaken, I think a half Ironman is double the distance of everything in an Olympic triathlon.
It's 180 kilometers.
And then a full Ironman is double that. So it's like
How
it
long
gets
does it take?
4 mile
Bike
4-kilometer swim, 180-kilometer bicycle ride, and a full marathon on
yeah, man.
I'm curious, how long does it take to bike 180K?
Probably hours, man. like those whole events take like over 8 hours. Like it's like a full day.
You have up to like how it works is if you want to qualify for like, so you have to do one Ironman to qualify for like the worlds, and like you don't even have to like place. They just say finish it in 17 hours.
Like at that point, I really think like it's not for average Joes. Like you have to be genetically gifted, and like you're doing Olympic triathlons. Like it's a joke. Like it's just like, this is.
You got to devote your life to it.
Genetically.
But I feel even if you devote your life for it, it's like you're gonna wear yourself out if you're not like genetically superior. You know, like it's kind of like bodybuilding. It's like everyone can bodybuild if they want to bodybuild, but like you're not gonna get far if you're not like genetically superior. You know?
That's true.
Like everyone can train and look good, but like you're not gonna get like top tier if you're not if you're average. Like
that's I mean that's in every sport for sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could do I'm sure like if you were absolutely like dedicated and you want to do a full Ironman, like you could, but it's fucking if you're in school or you're working or something, it's a whole life.
I mean, just to give it some like
superior, and you need to be like extremely disciplined too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a huge part. And
just to give it context, like 180 kilometers. A few 10 years ago, I have my older brother. He did like a cross Canada bike trip with his friend, and he didn't do the whole like cross Canada, but his friend did. And when we asked him how many kilometers a day he would do, so to cross the entire length of Canada, you would have to do around like 200 kilometers. Like on average, he said he did 160, 180 kilometers a day for like 4 months. Like that's a ridiculous amount of distance.
Yeah, no, like that's
and
like
you gotta do that after you swim for 3 kilometers. It's so much.
Chance. No. That's crazy.
I would love to do it one day.
Yes.
I always want
to do cross Canada.
Oh no, Ironman.
It's like if I'd bike, I wouldn't bike cross Canada. That'd just be like.
Also, like,
is Ironman still on your bucket list?
For sure. One day.
I want to do an Ironman when I'm like 40 years old.
I'm curious.
You know what's funny? You say that like half the people I see doing Ironmans and stuff are like 40, 50 years old. Like they're just insane shape and like they're hitting midlife crises. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that is what it is. It's like they want to find something to compete in, and they want to find something to like be passionate about again. I don't know why triathlon is a thing for an older generation.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll be honest. What's hilarious is that the way it works in triathlon is like you have to write, like you get a number, like a race number, and you have to write it on your arm and on your calf. It's like, that's why if you see people who are like super intense about triathlon, a lot of them who complete Ironmans and stuff get like the Ironman logo on their calf because you actually write your number on your calf. So when I was doing it, I see a bunch of these like hardcore guys with like tattoos on their calves and whatever. And you see everyone's, sorry, it's my bad. It's not your number. You write your age because it basically tells you which age group you're in. Mm-hmm. So like if I'm like 25, I'd write 25 on my calf. And I was like dying in the running part, and I just was like trying to complete it. And I was getting so angry because I'd see like guys who are like 50, like 48, like all passing me. And I'm like, dude, like you guys are old. Like how am I losing? But there's people who are just animals, like absolute animals, who are clearly like all ages. And there was dudes who were like, I saw there was one guy who must have been at least 300 pounds who like completed it. And I was like, God damn, good for you.
Wow. I guess that just goes to show like you said, anyone could probably do it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think Olympic is way more doable than people think.
Mm-hmm.
Most people start with sprint, but like me and my friend were kind of like, like go big or go home kind of thing. Like we're not going to train for a sprint. But
sprint distances.
Sprint, I think is like, I think it's half of what I did. So I think it's maybe 0.7 kilometers of swimming, 20 kilometers of biking, and 5 kilometers of running. I think that if you're like generally athletic, you can probably do with not like crazy training. But I would say you definitely have to train for Olympic.
How much was all your equipment that you needed to get? Like, what's
honestly not that much. Like,
bike?
So I already had a bike. I wasn't gonna go buy like a $2,000 road bike for like something I might do once. So I had a good road bike. It was like costing me like $200 back in the day. Still works. It's fine. So that's like $200. Running shoes. If you already have running shoes, then you're good. If you need new running shoes, then I don't know, $200.
I feel like a wetsuit is expensive.
I rented the wetsuit. Most people rent it.
Okay.
So there's actually a place, and they like literally just rent wetsuits, and it's funny because they have like no business all year because like we're in Montreal, and then like 3 days before like the triathlon, they're like sold out of everything. So yeah, I think renting a wetsuit was about like $40-$50 or something.
Okay.
Other than that, you can buy it. How much are wetsuits?
Yeah.
Oh, it could get expensive. I think like the cheapest one is probably maybe like $200, but it could go like up to $1,000 for sure.
We're looking at it now. Yeah, you're right. It's about that.
If you like surf or do water sports all the time, then like it's worth it. But I literally needed it that one weekend, so I just rented it.
Yeah. No, just because I'm thinking about it, because what you said, it's you put on your wetsuit and you swam for the first time with it, and you were like kind of like, what the fuck?
Definitely,
So
I would recommend trying it before.
Yeah.
So the wetsuit there's pros and cons. Like it's actually if you're like someone who's competing and trying to get a time, it's actually you have an advantage using a wetsuit because you're more buoyant. There's less resistance. Like you're not like if you swim, like you don't have to put as much resistance as keeping yourself afloat. Like you're just naturally more buoyant. So that's easier. But if you've never done it, like you feel kind of more constricted and you're in like a straight jacket, like it's a little funny, but it's not bad. Like I think, and it's also weird because there's regulations. Like if the day of the race is a certain temperature, you can't use a wetsuit. And if it's below a certain temperature, they're like, okay, because it's cold, like you're allowed to wear a wetsuit. And they don't tell you till the morning of. So like, because Montreal is so like sketch in weather, like me and my friend were literally like, do we need to rent a wetsuit? Like, should we rent a wetsuit? And we did it just in case. And like, luckily it was actually cold and we needed it. But it's like a complete hit or miss. It's hard to plan.
Mm-hmm.
How cold was the water?
Cold. Like, I am definitely happy I had the wetsuit. Like it was miserable. But like, I mean, after it's like anything. Like if you swim for like 2 minutes, you're fine.
So there's people doing it without it.
Yeah, there's a few, but it was definitely rare.
Okay. Hardcore.
It's also funny because you have to like, I mean, I don't think I really trained for it, but they say it's good to kind of train to actually like transition between things, like going from swimming to biking and then biking to running. And because like you literally have to like, you swim and there's like no break and you run to your station and you basically have to like take off your wetsuit and you're kind of like disoriented and then you literally just start biking. And actually it's really funny because there's just rows and rows and rows of bikes. So I went to like the orientation and I got really discouraged. I was like, this is fucking scary. I don't know where to find my shit. Like I'm going to lose my bike like the day of. Like this is like so like overwhelming kind of thing. So I taped my whole bike in like orange, like neon tape. And I was just like, out of all these like black and gray bikes, I'm going to find my bike in like 3 seconds kind of thing. So that was my little trick. But honestly, I didn't even need it. It wasn't that hard to find, I realized. But yeah, it's just like, it's overwhelming, the transitions and stuff, because you're definitely out of it and you want to like just chill and like catch your breath, but you see everyone's moving. So you're like, oh shit, I'm going to move too.
Do you ever like get scared that you'd kind of be left behind by the pack because of certain people go faster?
It's definitely like, I think it's definitely a psychological thing. Like when you see people, like for me, especially on the run, like when I see people passing me, you're like, fuck, like, why am I so slow? Like, why am I so tired?
Yeah.
And it's very misleading too, because it's hard to gauge, like, you know, like let's say in biking, you have to do 9 laps of the exact same route. So it's like someone passes you and you're like, am I on lap 5 and he's on lap 2? Or am I on lap 5 and he's like on lap 9? Like, so in your head, you always feel like you're losing, but like for all you know, you might not be losing.
Right.
So
You
that's
might
like
be catching up or something.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, even like me and my friend talked about all the time, like you could go like running on Mount Royal and you feel like trash because you're like, you've been running for an hour and you're tired and you're out of breath. And you see some person who's like, you know, like a 10-year-old girl pass you and you're just like, damn it. You're like, why is this girl passing me? And it's like, you don't know if she just started running 5 minutes ago. You've been running for an hour.
Yeah,
or she's been running for 2 hours. Like, so that's like a weird like thing that messes with me mentally a lot, like too much to be honest. But at the end of the day, like actually I told
like,
it
damn you little girl.
but it depends. Yeah, like honestly, I think it bothered my friend more than me. And I literally the day of the race, I was like, dude, like stay in your lane, like think about yourself. Like you're not competing with like 100 people. You're just trying to do like a good time for you. So it's like, it takes a lot of like thinking back and like realizing why you're doing it. Like I'm not breaking world records, like no chance. So it's definitely easy to like lose track and try to compete with everybody, but like there's no point. Like you're never gonna finish first unless you're like, you know, that's your thing.
Yeah. And did you have a time in mind, like before you did it? You're like, this is the number I want to hit.
So funny thing is, like, it's weird, right? Because let's say like you train for lifting or whatever, like most people have a decent idea of like what they can do. Like if someone says like, what's your max deadlift? Like you've probably done like, you know, 1 rep maxes before, or like, you know, 2 rep maxes, and you have an idea what's like your threshold. But for me, it's like, I never wanted to do the whole freaking triathlon just on a weekend to see how like fit I am. I was like, it's taxing, you know, like I'm not down to do like hours and hours of cardio in a row just to test. So I had an idea how fast my run is, and I had an idea how fast my bike is, but I never did them all back to back. So it was kind of daunting because I had no idea what I was going to do and if I can even do it. But basically I was just like, if I get under 4 hours, then like I'm chill. Like that was like literally my only goal. And I think I got like 3 hours and like 20 minutes or something. So
that's amazing.
Like, okay, like, and honestly, I'm like a heavy dude. Like I'm not like, I'm not like 110 pounds. So I did it with my friend who weighs like 50 pounds lighter than me. And I think I was only like 10 minutes slower than him. So I was like, okay, like that's not bad. Like I'm not freaking out. So yeah, it's fun. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. It's funny how you said with lifting, you generally know what you're going to hit. But when you came to lifting things, I'm going to hit 405, and then you go and you hit 520.
Dude, honestly, I still don't think your weights are calibrated. I don't understand. Like to this day, like I'm never going to hit those numbers that I like peaked that day.
You know what the thing is though, like, because I've seen the footage of you deadlifting that like so many times. That doesn't look like it's your max, if I'm being honest.
I don't know.
I think you could do a little more.
Honestly, I also don't think I've had like that much caffeine in like one workout ever. Like I'm pretty sure I already came and like had caffeine, and then you guys were all like, "Oh, yo, free pre-workout," and I was like, "Okay, like this is like a one-time thing. Like why not?" I was definitely like jittery. Like I was very, very like, jittery and like ready to go. So for sure that helped, and for sure like all the energy helped.
The smelling salts too.
You guys have another, actually no, I didn't have it. I didn't have the smelling salts. I wanted to, but I pussied out right before.
Okay.
If you guys have another one, I'll try to beat it. But it's actually funny because I showed my parents. My dad was like super pissed. He's like, "Bro, like, you're gonna fucking rip your spine. Like, what the fuck are you doing?" And then he gave me like so much shit. And then he bumps into, actually, you guys, you know Eric. Like he bumps into my friend Eric at the gym. And apparently he's like, "Wow, like Robert was so good. He like deadlifted so much." And I'm like, "Wow, he doesn't hype me up, but like he hypes me up to my friend." Like, okay.
Well, I mean, at this point, at the next one, you're gonna have to hit 620. Like based off what you've been doing, you gotta go for 620 next time.
After quarantine, man, like my deadlifts are with a fucking 40 pounds like water jug. I have no deadlifts left. Actually, man, what's his name? Jason was a fucking monster. Not Jason, like not Gladstein. What was the guy who like had the crazy deadlift?
Oh, the other Jason.
Yeah. Okay, his name is Jason. Dude, we had like the same number at first. And this guy is like double my size. So I was like, okay, it's sick. Like I got a pretty good deadlift. And then I like go and I change and he's like still deadlifting. I'm like, fuck. I was like he's making me look bad now. But
Yeah,
he was
like
a beast.
540 maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
but he also like squatted and benched like way more. The dude is just a fucking strong guy.
Yeah.
He's
a big dude.
no, he's an animal.
For
That was
sure.
fun.
So so like that sounds like a crazy experience to have, the whole triathlon thing. So props to you. But I'm curious, like what's next on that bucket list?
So I really want to do a marathon in September, but pretty sure like that's not happening considering the whole pandemic circumstances. So I think I might just like track it and do it myself, honestly, because I just want to hit the number. But even actually, it's funny, like 2 weeks ago, I've just been getting back into running and whatever, and honestly, I just had a really good week. Like I was just hitting numbers really, really easily and like kind of hitting all these PRs. And I was like, you kind of have to hit like the iron when it's hot. And I was like, like I'll see. So I did like a half marathon on like a Saturday just for fun.
Yeah, I saw.
And honestly, it was doable, but I'm not even sure what I felt more like shit. I don't know if it was that or the triathlon. Like I really felt like shit at the end. And it was really funny too, because I think I had like 1 kilometer left and I bumped into like 3 of my friends just like chilling outside and they're like, hey, like, how's it going? And I literally was like, nah, man, like I'm not stopping now. Like I just have to go home. Like I literally like, took out my earphone. I was like, yo, I'm really busy. Got to go by. But like I felt like kind of a dick.
Them, like, I'm about to finish a half marathon. Like,
I didn't even want to get into it. I was just like, I'm out. Like I was like, I can't
run
even
20 kilometers.
Yeah, he'd be like
I had been running for like, yeah, I was like, it was like 2.5 hours. And the funny thing is, by the time I got home, I saw like an old couple who were probably walking about the speed I was running. And I was like, fuck. But at that point, I was just hella tired.
Wait, was that a distance PR for you?
Yeah. Like,
nice.
I think before that, I think the most I ever hit was like 12 or 13K. And that same week, I don't know what was with me, but I was just hitting really good numbers. I was hitting like 12 and 15, like really easily. And then I was like, okay, like, let's just try it out. But it was super stupid. Like, honestly, my legs were sore for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, because like I posted on Lifting Fix story that I ran at 5K and Robert replied like,
yo, I felt bad. I felt really bad.
Then I click on his story and it says 22K or something. I'm like,
I felt so bad because like I wasn't at all like judging you. It's like, it's still good if that's like a PR.
I know. I just thought it was funny. Like,
but I don't run fast. Your pace is good. But you run very fast. Like you had a very quick pace. Like my pace sucks. Like I just go for distance. Like I'm not fast at all.
Yeah, well, my distance sucks. So
there you go. Like maybe you'll be a sprinter.
You guys have to start training together and then you'll interchange.
Combine both worlds.
You'll push him to run further distances and he'll push you to run at a faster pace.
I think for me, I get a high off getting I get a high off getting the distance. Like for me, it's like, oh, like, can I get another K? Can I get another K? Like I've never been fast. So it's like, for me, it's like, I guess it's kind of like a sore loser comment, but like, I just haven't been trying to go fast, but like, yeah.
What can you do in like, I don't know if you calculated miles or kilometers. What do you like, what's your time per mile?
For what? For
like a mile, let's say. Like a 5K.
5K, probably about like 30 minutes, more or less, like 32.
It's average. That's not like, you're not slow. You're just like normal.
Like, but like, it's funny because like my first 1 or 2 kilometers, I'll have like amazing pace, and then it just like starts like going down. Like I don't pace myself well, like honestly.
Yeah.
The first 2K are always the fastest.
Yeah, and like it's so yeah. But one of my friend who I did my triathlon with, like he has like super good speed, and his pace is like honestly usually like a minute faster than mine, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Dan's really
like, that's the thing with running with those distances. Like, even if he's just a little bit faster than you, over time that becomes like a big difference.
I think also like your build and your weight also helps a lot. Like I don't know. I think if I was like way lighter, it would help. But
you got too many gains. You have to.
Yeah, that's it. Honestly, man, probably lighter now because of quarantine.
Bro, distance is way more impressive. Like Dan, like is super fast, has a crazy pace, and then when we're all done, Dan is out for 2 weeks because he injured like 3 different places.
Oh shit! You get injured a lot, Dan?
Well, no, I'm extremely competitive.
Yeah.
So we all went for a run. So I was like, yo, I gotta like.
Dude, you were like so much further away from us.
Yeah,
I know, but I wanted.
had no reason to.
So do you guys like? Do you have like running like competitions with each other? Like I'm gonna hit this much today or something?
No, we went on a run. We got challenged once.
Okay.
What we do at the end of each podcast is we ask like the guests to give us a challenge.
Okay.
And this girl named Nicole challenged us to run a 5K.
Okay.
And we all did it together. And I hadn't run in
4. We did it 4.
It's funny you say that because like at my work, I think my boss recently just got like kind of back into running, and he posted in our like group chat like at work, and he's just like, oh, like is anyone down for like a running challenge? And I was just like, I kind of wanted to like be quiet, and I'm like, yeah, like let's go, like like time to like wreck everybody, but like super quiet. And it's funny because like I'm not even that competitive, but like yeah, I saw like my coworker like ran at lunch at 6K, and then like another coworker ran at like 8K. I'm like, hey, now I'm gonna like fucking kill everyone. I'm not losing at this shit. like I think I ran like 11K that day just to be like number 1 in the leaderboard. I'm like, shit the fuck
You
up.
should have just ran a marathon that day.
Yeah, I honestly thought it'd be fucking hilarious if like that one day I do it but I'd look like such a douchebag. I'm like, no chance.
You literally run for 12 hours straight.
Yeah, just to prove a point to my boss.
And he's like, why didn't you get any work done today? I'm like, look at the leaderboard, bitch.
Promote me.
You see that?
Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna run out of time soon. So
yeah, on the topic of what I just said in terms of challenges. So like I said, at the end of every podcast, we asked the guests to give us a challenge. One person challenged us to, in 1 month, they wanted us to hit a 5K in 25 minutes. This other person, Gladstein, challenged us to do the push-up thing. Tiger challenged us to be able to hang on a pull-up bar for 100 seconds.
Wait, who? Tiger?
Yeah.
Was he able to do it?
No.
Yeah, I was like, come on.
He's doing it with us.
Okay.
So just to give you an idea, but it doesn't have to be. It can be anything at all. It doesn't have to be fitness related.
It doesn't have to be fitness related. And any time.
Yeah, literally anything.
Let me think.
On the spot.
Yeah, if it's running, I'm actually gonna cry.
Yeah, like I mean, if you guys already did a running challenge, I don't want to give you like the same challenge, but it's at the same time, it's like it's one of the only things you can fucking do now because there's like.
You said let us try if we've never tried to bike and then run, so maybe something like that.
Wait, do I have to do the challenge too?
No, you don't.
Okay, so I'm just not down. Okay. Which I guess you can. Maybe try. I don't know if Let me. I'm trying to think of something that's like reasonable.
It doesn't have to be reasonable.
Yeah, let it be.
Like
reasonable.
how long can you guys usually run? Like what's like an average run when you guys go running?
I've never done over 30 minutes, but like I've never tried to focus on distance. I always just like go at a crazy pace.
So you're just sprinting every time, like all out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very slow.
I want to try.
You guys.
Go ahead.
Sorry, and you guys usually like, do you guys run often or like?
I just ran a few days ago. I was able to do like almost a 5K.
Okay. So you guys are all like 5K is like the usual like.
We just started, so yeah, we're very like just 5K.
5K.
Okay. You guys all have bikes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are gonna overhead press your bike? No, I'm kidding. No. I don't know, man. Honestly, like it's not even that fun, man. Like it's like I'm gonna be honest. Like the biking and running is like it's weird, but like I'm sure you can do it. If you're not doing a crazy distance, you can do it.
All right, we can do it. We don't mind doing it.
Just tell us anything, dude.
All right. Okay. So let's say. Okay. So let's say try to bike for let's say 45 minutes, and then try to run for like, let's say at least 20 minutes. And if you can do more, try to do more.
Okay.
I think you guys can do it.
45, 20. No, it's going to be a fun one.
Challenge accepted.
No
And
time.
then you have to get max reps of overhead pressing your bike.
Are we supposed to be on the bikes for the overhead? So
yeah, you
Mike
take
is
turns.
the
Like
bike
someone
and I
gets
do the
on
overhead.
and like you're pedaling, and then you just hold from the frame and you're like overhead pressing.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And then you do a superset and you curl the bike.
We're actually gonna do that. I'll send you a video.
Oh my god! Please don't injure yourselves. Like,
Dan's for sure gonna injure himself and be like, "Yo, is this because of you?"
like no more podcasts. Like everyone's in the
Expect the
hospital.
lawsuit.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, guys.
It would be worth it.
Thank you
for the challenge, and thank you so much for coming on.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and I hope. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Ciao, guys.
See ya.
Bye.